What's up, guys? This is the Illegal Defense. We're going to get into it with our NFL portion of the show. It's episode 10. Going to get right into it with the Seahawks versus the Cardinals. Seahawks handle business 31 to 21 and beat the Cardinals on the road. Um, the Cardinals seem to still struggle. Kyler Murray showing some struggling. Still don't know what the issue is.
Well, we know what the issue is.
we know what the issue is. Buda Baker kind of pointed it out. He actually mentioned it. I think it was after the game. He was like, gotta rest up more. Gotta try to prepare more. Watch more film. Kyler Murray probably should do that. But yeah, I mean, hats off to Seattle. They did what they could do and they handled business.
Yeah, this was a game that I was saying I could see the Cardinals winning this game just based on the games that they played. We know how close games are in the NFL period. The Cardinals do have talent on their roster. We know Hopkins is back. But yeah, I mean, this Call of Duty thing is gonna follow Kyler around for a while. I mean, he's gonna find a way to put up wins. Around this time. I mean, there's no excuses here when Hopkins is back. And it's not completely on him, but he's the guy that makes the team go, right? We saw him be able to pull off these like miraculous comebacks. We saw the game against the Raiders earlier this year where he kind of, does all these things. And obviously we can't expect that from him all the time, but as the quarterback and the leader of this team, he has to play better. We know the Seahawks are a much improved team from last year. They've been stringing together wins. They've been showing that they're for real this year. So it is a tough game, but I would expect the Cardinals to show some fight sometime soon because I don't know. This was a team that last year was had one of the best records in the league till past the midway point. I don't see why they can't figure some things out here in the next coming weeks and find a way to make a push at least for a playoff
For a
spot.
wild card spot at
Yeah.
least. It's kind of weird because obviously the talent that they have on their roster, don't know if it's clicking, like if it's not clicking for their offense as far as just it's like kind of one-sided. It's like they don't run the ball really well. They strictly just depend on the pass when it's like you have a mobile quarterback, try to use him to his strengths in a sense. But again, it's there's some senses where Kyler Murray's not picking up certain blitzes that as a quarterback that is getting paid that much money, you should be able to do that. But again, we don't know what's going on with the Cardinals. Hopefully they get it together. It would be nice to see them in the playoffs. Oddly enough, I like the Cardinals in the playoffs. I think the last time they were was like when Carson Palmer was on that team, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if they made it with that team yet, but
The last time I remember was the big play with Larry Fitzgerald, like the last game
oh
of it.
right,
Yeah,
right,
towards
right,
the end of
right.
his career. Yeah, I remember being at a bar and everybody going crazy
Yeah.
when that was happening. But
So
yeah,
it would be nice to see the Cardinals at least get a wild card spot, try to do something. And I mean, they were in the playoffs last year, but it wasn't.
yeah, it almost doesn't count. Like
Nah,
they didn't make any noise. They didn't do anything
yeah,
impressive.
it
Yeah.
wasn't really anything memorable, and it was against the Rams. So the Rams obviously were the reigning champs, or they were the champs, and they handled them. So speaking of the Rams, they weren't able to get it done against the Bucks. The Rams went on the road. They lost 13-6 against the Buccaneers, and um, the Bucks showed some type of life towards the end of the game. It was kind of like,
It was a very strange game.
yeah,
It
it was
was
like,
it wasn't entertaining to watch.
yeah,
It was the Rams were up for most of the game until the Bucks came back late and scored, but yeah, just not a
it
very
was like a
good game.
stale game.
Yeah,
Like,
very stale game. I don't know, man. Very odd for two teams that coming into the year were some people Super Bowl favorites, right? The Rams
Nah,
coming off their Super Bowl win last year, the Bucks with Tom Brady and keeping a lot of their pieces that they were able to win the Super Bowl with the year before. But yeah, strange game, two strange teams this year.
nah,
The Bucks, like you said, they were able to pull it out. So good for them. They really needed the win. Um, I feel at this point, the Rams seem to have a lot more issues that seem like there's not answers to, right? Like
nah.
their offense is clearly
Struggling.
struggling. I mean, we even had Jalen Ramsey come out and say, oh yeah, our team is struggling because our offense is kind of, holding us back here. Um, and yeah, so it seems like they have a lot more that they would need to fix to turn their season around and um, not just make the playoffs, but to make any noise in the playoffs.
Nah,
The Bucks, on the other hand, if they could put some wins together, once they're in the playoffs, you can't really count them out.
nah.
So,
Yeah, especially with Brady.
yeah, so I think this win, it was a big win for them. There are all the stats about, Brady's seasons and how this one has, been not a very good one. One of the worst ones since I think his first or second year, something along those lines. We talked about their game last week against the Ravens. I said I don't think you could pick against the Ravens looking at how much the Ravens need to win, how bad the Bucks have been playing. This
Right.
game, we looked like at the Bucks to win, kind of, for the reasons that we stated, and it didn't look good for them, but they're able to pull it out. Much needed win, as we said, and will be crucial for them. We talked about the Rams and their problems. The Bucks, we've talked about at length how we can't really put our finger on what the issues are, right? Like we know what they are production wise. Like they seem to not
There.
be able to run the ball.
Nah.
Their passing offense has struggled, at least compared to what it
What it
was.
was and what
They
it can be.
Yeah, and so defensively they've been able to stop the run, but then they've been giving up big pass plays. So but these are things that they should be able to fix or at least improve in those different areas. And once they turn around, I mean, they still have the weapons. They still have Godwin. They still have Mike Evans. You still have Brady back there. You still have a defense that should be able to get the job done for you
Especially
if you
since
could put
they're
up some points.
yeah, especially if they're a championship defense. It's like
Hmm.
they've proven that they can win a championship. So um again, it's kind of odd. Like this game wasn't just like you said, it was like there wasn't anything from this game that I can be like, wow, remember this moment? And it was kind of like it was just like the tale of two teams and who's gonna really make the mistake to let the other team win. It was never like the Bucks earned it, and it was kind of
Hmm.
like I guess they're on track. Like, all right, we gotta win. Let's build on it. Let's try to get better and do what we can. So the next game that we have is the Titans versus the Chiefs. Titans went to Arrowhead and they actually put up a fight. It was 17-20. Um, Obviously the Titans didn't have Ryan Tannehill. They had to roll with Malik Willis. The spread for the game was actually like minus 10.5.
Yeah.
So surprisingly the Titans covered with Malik Willis. But it kind of like when I was watching the game, you could see that there was kind of like a new spark to the offense, being that they can run Malik Willis.
Also, that I mean, this was a Derrick Henry takeover game, right? If they
Yeah,
if they pull out this win, it's because of Derrick Henry
for sure.
and his ability to run the ball. The Chiefs, the problem is with games like this when they're low scoring and you run the ball, the Chiefs offense at any time could explode and put up points, which is exactly what they did.
Yeah.
The game was like a drag out kind of game. It was low scoring. You get late in the game and it gets forced into overtime, and then once you're in overtime, the Chiefs find a way to win it. Yeah, I mean, look, good effort by the Titans. The Titans, they started off a little slow. They've picked it up since then. Um, and this is a Titans team that's been, pretty much in recent history always in the playoffs. So,
Right.
in a way, it's not that surprising that they were able to play the Chiefs kind of close, even with Malik Willis, because of having Derrick Henry back there. Their defense is able to step up and perform when needed. So, yeah, it's just, with the Chiefs, you can't count them out. They're one of these teams that has that rare ability to kind of find ways to win, right? It's almost more surprising when they lose these type of games
Yeah.
because you almost expect the game winning drive and their ability to just come through late and take that win for themselves in terms of instead of other teams where they might shoot themselves in the foot or might not find a way to convert the necessary third
Right.
down and things of that nature. So, the Chiefs and their experience, their offensive prowess proves to be too much. And, you know, we expect the Chiefs to keep rolling. The Titans played a close game. I'm sure they'll keep things up on their end, and they'll be in the hunt to return to the playoffs if they can keep up, their more recent play.
Yeah, I think and very Vrabel, he'll have his guys ready regardless. To go into overtime in Arrowhead with a quarterback that's a rookie, doesn't have much experience. It's a lot. That's a lot to say just in general. I mean, it's not easy. It's not an easy task to play against the Chiefs, but hats off to the Titans. I'm sure they'll get back on track.